What's good, everybody? It's your boy, we're back with another video. Today, we're doing another game preview. We got a big matchup between number 13 Baylor, number 2 Texas. Technically, it's neutral site, but it's in Texas, so it's really like whoever's team, whoever's school travels better. Not even travels, but like whoever's team shows up more, I guess. I don't really know, but we have a former Big 12 matchup similar to the Oklahoma State game we had yesterday. Still a big rivalry because it is an in-state rivalry. It's Texas Baylor in women's college basketball. They've always had like a back and forth, especially the last couple of years. For a little bit, it was Baylor that was kind of dominating, but Texas has made its way since they brought in Vic Schaefer. They've made their way as a powerhouse, and Baylor is still in the conversation nearly every year. So this should be a really interesting game, really fun game. Before we start, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and check out everything that we're doing over here on this channel. I appreciate everybody that has tuned in and is subscribed and stayed and rocked with me throughout December. I think this is day 12 now. I'm really bad at remembering, but every time I look at my iPad and see whatever date it is, that's how I really remember. But yeah. We don't know. I don't think Aaliyah Crump or Brianna Preston is gonna play today. So Texas is still gonna be shorthanded. They still haven't had Ashton Judd play yet. But all three of them could be coming back somewhat soon, which is kind of scary because Texas has been playing so well, and they haven't had those three. And then when they have those three, they have just even more options. So it could get really, really interesting as they get into conference play. But the matchup that I'm most looking forward to is Talia Scott and Rory Harmon. Like, I want to see that matchup. I want to see Rory Harmon and see how she can affect what Talia Scott does. Talia Scott was at Auburn last year, but only played 3 games before going down with injury. And then the year before that, she was at Arkansas, and I don't believe Texas was in the SEC yet, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they were in the SEC yet, so I'm not sure if they've ever matched up. If they have, then that's my bad for not remembering the first one. But I think this is a very interesting matchup because Talia Scott is the key to every game for Baylor. Like, they're gonna need her to score 20+ points every night efficiently for them to have a chance to win. I want to say a chance to win like your average game, but games like this, like, she has to be arguably the best player on the floor. Like, she may have to have one of those games where it's like, oh my gosh, like National Player of the Year conversations because of how good the game was and how big the moment is. And she's rather efficient. She shoots 46% from the field, 39% from 3, 91 from the free throw line. So it's not like she takes bad shots or she's inefficient or anything like that. But Texas's defense, their mantra is, stop what the other team is best at, slow down what the other team is best at, and their best option offensively is Talia Scott. After that, I don't say it definitely gets more difficult, I would say. Like, they have capable players of scoring, but those aren't really the players that you want to have to count on in games like this. Dariana Littlepage Buggs has the ability to score at a high level. And I think Bella Fauntleroy, this could be a game where she kind of like finds her rhythm, finds a flow, finds a consistency. Jana Van Geinbeek, I think for her, she's like not super aggressive, and I think she's a player that can average a good bit of assists. Like, she averages 6.4 assists. She had a triple-double the other night, and she can get you 7 to 8 assists, but sometimes she doesn't even look for her shot like at all, and at times that can be a killer for a team, especially a team that doesn't have like a bunch of offensive weapons. You know what I mean? Like, she has to find ways to get easy shots, get on the board, shoot the 3 ball. She's a capable 3-point shooter. She's a capable shooter. She just doesn't shoot that often. So if the shot's there, she's got to take it. Yuten Dang, Kirsten Johnson, I think both play big parts in this. Kirsten Johnson's averaging 2.6 blocks a game. And I think their defense is going to be good enough to keep them in the game for a little bit. Or not for a little bit, but to keep them in the game for the most part. But it's the offense that's like, can you keep it up? Because Texas is okay with having like a slow paced game, having a game where you struggle offensively. And Baylor is too, because, you know, Baylor is a really good defensive team as well. But it's like Texas has that ability to go on a run and to just kind of like put the game away, which most of the top teams do. Like UConn has the ability to do it. South Carolina has the ability to do it. LSU has the ability. UCLA has the ability. Like those top teams have the ability to play in a game where it's just, all right, we need to get stops in this game. But once we get it rolling, it's going to be hard to stop us. And Texas is one of those teams that, like, they may not have the best flowing offense, but when they get rolling, it's hard to stop them because they know exactly what they want to do. When they get offensive rebounds and they are getting midi shots from Madison Booker, and they're getting out in transition and getting layups and mid-range shots from Rory Harmon. They're getting shots off at pin downs and open looks for Jordan Lee. Like, there's just so many different options that they have that when it is flowing, it is a really good offense. So I'm definitely looking at Baylor's defense and then how many players can they get to step up offensively. That's the same thing for Oklahoma State yesterday. And they kind of struggled after the second quarter to like continue to be consistent with players being efficient and things like that. And Oklahoma just kind of just pulled away because that offense is that potent. Like, that offense knows exactly what they want to do. And if they're able to get good looks, they're going to make them more often than they're going to miss. And that's really what it was in the first quarter. Second quarter is like both teams playing really good offense. But once Oklahoma was all right, it was like, okay, we can get some stops and still score. That's where the game changes. So I'm looking at Talia Scott. Need a big game from her. Obviously, it's easier said than done. Texas is a really good defense. But these are the kinds of games that Talia Scott is made for. Like, this is the kind of game that she's going to come into. She's going to be aggressive. She's going to understand what kind of performance her teammates need from her. But her teammates also have to understand what she's going to need from them. And it's not to say go out there and play out of body or do things that you're not capable of doing. But Yuten Dang, Kirsten Johnson, you're going to need something from them offensively. Obviously, Bella and Dariana, you're going to need something from too. But I think they just had to keep it close. Like, I say this with a lot of these games that, like, it can get away from you, but if you can keep it close for a long period of time, it gives you a much better chance of winning the game. And I don't think people really think about that as often because it's like, okay, well, the more experienced team normally wins at the end of the game. It's not necessarily in college. Like, sometimes weird stuff happens. Sometimes the team that you're expecting to win or the team that's more experienced late game can make a mistake or two, or the team on the other side is so confident at this point that I don't want to say any shot that they put up, but they feel confident in just about anything that they do. So whether they make or miss, they're like, I mean, I feel like that was a good shot. It feels like it was a shot I could make. But yeah, I mean, Texas is just like Madison Booker, one of the best players in the country, Rory Harmon. And again, they're still without Aaliyah Crump, who I'm a big fan of. She started out the season really well. Breonna Preston, who was like just an instant energy, just get on the court and just run. Good defender as well. And then Ashton Judd from Missouri is a great shooter, but hasn't played yet. So we'll see if any of them play today. I don't think there's been anything put out yet. I looked this morning, or early this morning, and I didn't see anything about today. So I don't know if they'll play, but if they do, or if one or two of them play, this game could be a little bit different because I just don't know if they'll have the firepower to keep up if they have that many players on the court that are capable of scoring at a high level. But I will say, these types of games are normally not the way that you expect. Like, this is probably going to be a defensive battle, low-scoring game, and Baylor's just going to have to make timely shots, timely possessions. They're going to have to make sure that Kyla Oldacre is not getting offensive rebounds and things like that. Like, the key for Baylor is rebounding. Can they make some threes? Talia Scott efficient. And what can they get from Van Geitenbeek, Little Paige Bugs, Dang, and Kirsten Johnson? Like, if they can get just little sprinkles, little moments from them offensively, I think they could pull off the upset. But Texas is also playing so well. Like, they're playing to a level that, you know, some people think they're the number one team, which I'm not completely against. But, I mean, UConn hasn't lost yet, so I'm not going to not going to move them, to 1 because UConn has played some good teams and they've made those teams not look very good. Like, USC is not a bad team at all, and they just made USC look like they weren't even on the same level. So Texas is really, really good. Like, this still could end up being like Texas runs away with it, but I think this kind of rivalry matchup, the atmosphere that it's going to be, I think it's going to be very difficult I don't think it'll be easy for Texas to just go in and just run away with this game. I think Baylor's going to make them play, going to make them, make it difficult for them offensively. And then as long as they're able to make some shots, get timely stops, get timely second chance points and things like that, get on the loose balls, hustle stats, hustle plays, Baylor has a really good chance to win this game as well. But I'm going to take Texas because they're the better team. And a lot of times in college, the better team wins, especially if it's like a neutral site or a home game. It's hard to, get that atmosphere. It's hard to go into that atmosphere and still go in and win a game. But again, this is an in-state game, so it's not like Baylor has to travel or Texas has to travel super far. Like, it's literally in Texas. So it's just whichever school travels best, whichever fan base travels best. But I'm going to go with Texas. I just think the better team is going to win today. But that's not to say that this won't be a good game. I still think it'll be a good game, and I appreciate everybody that has tuned in. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this game, how you feel about UConn's game yesterday, and some games that we have coming up over the next couple of weeks. We got UConn, Iowa. We got UConn, Notre Dame in about a month or so, I think. There's some big games coming up. We got conference play starting, so we're going to have some big games in the conference play that we're going to be previewing and things like that. So make sure you guys are tapping in. I appreciate everybody that has come back and watched videos. Thank you guys for watching.